The text consists of over 170,000 characters, with spaces dividing the text into about 35,000 groups of varying length, usually referred to as words or word tokens. 37,919. 8,114 of those words are considered unique word types. The structure of these words seems to follow phonological or orthographic laws of some sort. For example, certain characters must appear in each word, like English vowels. Some characters never follow others, or some may be doubled or tripled, but others may not. The distribution of letters within words is also rather peculiar. Some characters occur only at the beginning of a word, some only at the end, like Greek sigma, and some always in the middle section. Many researchers have commented upon the highly regular structure of the words. Professor Gonzalo Rubio, an expert in ancient languages at Pennsylvania State University, stated, "The things we know as grammatical markers, things that occur commonly at the beginning or end of words, such as S or D in our language, and that are used to express grammar, never appear in the middle of words in the Voynich manuscript. That's unheard of for any Indo-European, Hungarian, or Finnish language." Quote, Stefan von Felt studied statistical properties of the distribution of letters and their correlations. Properties which can be vaguely characterized as rhythmic resonance, alliteration, or assonance, and found that under that respect Voynichese is more similar to the Mandarin Chinese pinyin text of the records of the Grand Historian than to the text of works from European languages. Although the numerical differences between Voynichese and Mandarin Chinese pinyin look larger than those between Mandarin Chinese pinyin and European languages, practically no words have fewer than 2 letters or more than 10. Some words occur in only certain sections, or in only a few pages. Others occur throughout the manuscript. Few repetitions occur among the 1,000 or so labels attached to the illustrations. There are instances where the same common word appears up to 3 times in a row. Sisyph's law. Words that differ by only 1 letter also repeat with unusual frequency, causing single substitution alphabet decipherings to yield Babel-like text. In 1962, cryptanalyst Elizabeth Friedman described such statistical analyses as doomed to utter frustration. In 2014, a team led by Diego Amancio of the University of São Paulo published a study using statistical methods to analyze the relationships of the words in the text, instead of trying to find the meaning. Amancio's team looked for connections and clusters of words by measuring the frequency and intermittence of words. Amancio claimed to identify the text's keywords and produced 3-dimensional models of the text's structure and word frequencies. The team concluded that, in 90% of cases, the Voynich systems are similar to those of other known books, indicating that the text is in an actual language, not random gibberish. The use of the framework was exemplified with the analysis of the Voynich manuscript, with the final conclusion that it differs from a random sequence of words, being compatible with natural languages. Even though our approach is not aimed at deciphering Voynich, it was capable of providing keywords that could be helpful for decipherers in the future. Linguists Claire Bowen and Luc Lindemann have applied statistical methods to the Voynich manuscript, comparing it to other languages and encodings of languages, and have found both similarities and differences in statistical properties. Character sequences in languages are measured using a metric called H2, or second-order conditional entropy. Natural languages tend to have an H2 between 3 and 4. but Voynichese has much more predictable character sequences, and an H2 around 2. However, at higher levels of organization, the Voynich manuscript displays properties similar to those of natural languages. Based on this, Bowen dismisses theories that the manuscript is gibberish. It is likely to be an encoded natural language or a constructed language. Bowen also concludes that the statistical properties of the Voynich manuscript are not consistent with the use of a substitution cipher or polyalphabetic cipher. As noted in Bowen's review, multiple scribes or hands may have written the manuscript, possibly using two methods of encoding at least one natural language. The language Voynichese appears in the herbal and pharmaceutical parts of the manuscript. The language known as Voynich-B appears in the balneological section, some parts of the medicinal and herbal sections, and the astrological section. The most common vocabulary items of Voynich-A and Voynich-B are substantially different. Topic: modeling of the manuscript suggests that pages identified as written by a particular scribe may relate to a different topic. In terms of morphology, if visual spaces in the manuscript are assumed to indicate word breaks, there are consistent patterns that suggest a three-part word structure of prefix, root or midfix, and suffix. Certain characters and character combinations are more likely to appear in particular fields. There are minor variations between Voynich-A and Voynich-B. The predictability of certain letters in a relatively small number of combinations in certain parts of words appears to explain the low entropy H2 of Voynichese. In the absence of obvious punctuation, some variants of the same word appear to be specific to typographical positions, such as the beginning of a paragraph, line, or sentence. The Voynich word frequencies of both variants appear to conform to a Zipfian distribution, supporting the idea that the text has linguistic meaning. This has implications for the encoding methods most likely to have been used, since some forms of encoding interfere with the Zipfian distribution. Measures of the proportional frequency of the 10 most common words is similar to those of the Semitic, Iranian, and Germanic languages. Another measure of morphological complexity, the moving average type token ratio (MATTR) index, is similar to Iranian, Germanic, and Romance languages.